everybody, it's Paulo Brands, Clear to Close Brokers with your Monday market update. I'm cheating. This is actually Sunday. I just finished an open house. I'm really excited for the week. I usually prepare these a day ahead, but after seeing all the home buyers come to this open house, seeing all the possibilities, I just really wanted to get out here and just share some of them. What possibilities am I referring to? Number one, we're seeing interest rates lower. That's huge. We're going to talk about that in a second. Number two, we're seeing sellers do things that they haven't done in I don't know how long. They're paying closing costs. Things are possible today that haven't been in the past. So it's really important that when you're working with a real estate team, your realtor and your lender, they're giving you the information so you know what season you're in. A lot of people, are waiting for lower interest rates. Well, they're here. And by the way, remember when rates were lower in the 2%, you had to bid $100,000 over a house. And so people are saying, yeah, the rates are great. However, we have to do this X amount to get the house. So it's important to know where you're at so you know how to win. And by the way, I know how to do that. And we work with real estate agents that are the absolute best. If you need a recommendation, let us know. We'd love to refer you. All right, with that, let's get to the market here. Let's talk a little bit about interest rates. I'm going to blow this up a little bit so you can see VA 5.625, FHA 5.625, people. Conventional 6.375, and jumbos is 6.25. Now these are all rates with 1 point. Typically, I don't show rates with a point, but here's the deal. Sellers are paying for it. And when you start taking a look at the forecast, where rates are projected to go, we're seeing that floor increase. And so it may make sense now to pay a point because you may not have an opportunity to refinance unless something else happens that's unexpected. But we can talk about that. When should we talk about that? At a Hopes and Dreams conversation, there's a QR code somewhere on the screen. Click it, book an appointment. No obligation. It's free. No credit pulls, no craziness. Just me and you giving you some great advice. I've been doing this 20 years. We're going to help you find out where you're at, and we're going to help you get to where you're going. All right, let's talk a little bit about refinance rates, 6%, 5.99. Now, these are rates that have no points to them. So they're a little bit less in cost. It's the same concept with refinance, depending on where you're at, how much equity you have, and where your short-term and long-term goals, it may make sense to pay a point to get that lower interest rate. But again, Hopes and Dreams would love to see what's possible for you. I'm extremely excited to announce that we are going to host a webinar on the 5 ways to sell your house 5 ways to buy a home before you sell your house. So if you're looking to make a move, but you're not sure, you have to sell first and you don't want to be homeless and there's not a lot of houses, come to this webinar. There's no obligations. We're going to tell you exactly how it's going to be done. And there's ways that absolutely are so simple, yet you just don't know, or maybe you're working with the wrong lender that doesn't know how these little loopholes are in underwriting and stuff. So that's something you want to join. I guarantee you we're not going to waste your time. That's not what we do here. Okay, guys, Powell signals rate cut ahead. So September 17th, looks like he's finally saying, you know what? All right, it's time to reduce interest rates 0.25%. A common question I get is, Paul, should we wait till September 17th to lock in a rate? Here's the thing. Powell, short-term interest rates, credit cards, home equity line of credits, 30-year fixed rates, they are bonds. The bond prices have already fixed this rate reduction into today's rates. That's why we're starting to see lower interest rates. If they reduce the rates 0.25%, September 17th, zero is going to happen to 30-year fixed rates. We're talking just this narrow window. If they don't, you can see rates spike up. And if they go even further than 0.25%, that could actually help interest rates drop as well. But that 0.25% rate, 90% chance of Jerome Powell reducing the rates, that's already built into today's rates. That's really important. Existing home sales. So this comes up a lot of medium home sales. A medium home price has gone down month over month to 422, but it's up year over year. Keep in mind, this is not a measurement of inflation. All this simply is suggesting that more houses sold above, or more, half the house is sold above and then half the other house is sold below. It's not a value of appreciation. That's coming out, I believe, next week, actually. We have 4.6 months of supply in the market. Sold above list price is at 21%. You guys are seeing that. If a house is listed where it should be, the market will tell you because it's being driven up and people are bidding. If a house is not being sold, in my humble opinion, it can only be one thing, and that's going to be price, and that's got to come down. First-time home buyers make up just a little bit more than 0.25%, and 28 days on market up from 27. So things are starting to slow down. Let's talk a little bit about the home builder sentiment. This is important because this is ultimately our biggest problem, and that's going to be supply of homes out there. And if the builders don't feel positive in this moment, they're not going to build more houses. That's going to keep the supply down, and that's going to keep home values up. You can see that that right now it continues to drop from June, July to August down to 32. That tells us that the builders are feeling a little bit negative about the market. However, future sales expectations is up to about 43. That probably has to do with interest rate declines. Buyer traffic is actually increasing. Interest rates are starting to come down. People are starting to go out there and get some homes up from 20 to 22. Up from 20 to 22. All right, what's going on this week that's going to drive interest rates? Monday, we have new home sales. That tells us about housing demand indicator, durable goods. On Thursday, it's jobless claims and final Q2 GDP. And Friday is going to be core PCE inflation. That is something that's going to influence the market. We think that's going to come in favorable to us, which leads us to where we think rates are going to go this week. Now, this guy's a little creepy. I couldn't find anything better. That's where it is. However, my predictions this week is that interest rates will, it's either going to be flat or it's going to be slightly lower over the next few months. There's going to be some moderate downward pressure over the next 1 to 3 years. You're going to see interest rates slowly go down. All right, you guys. And last, how we always end it. If we're not working together, we should. A hopes and dreams conversation. No credit pulls, no applications, no commitment. There's a QR code. It's the same one in the other corner there. Let's just put a plan in place for you and your family to save money on your rate, on your closing costs. Then ultimately, once we help you get into a home at an amazing interest rate, we're going to show you how to make and create wealth through homeownership and other vehicles. Paul Brandt's Clear to Close Brokers. Hope you have a wonderful week. Take care.